So what's up, guys, man? Hey, look, this is a new build we just did here at Northeast Unlimited. It's a build that we did some years ago when I had a shop here existingly in the same building, but we updated some things, made some big changes to adapt to E85 and X98, the ethanol world that this car really belongs in. And you know, it's a really cool build. It's a buddy of mine, Rob McLaughlin's car. He's been a longtime friend, a longtime customer of mine since I've had my other shop, and we raced together. He's also been a teammate for Team Northeast with the Fast America Series we raced in. This car was actually raced in the Fast America Series back in pre-Fast America Series in Memphis. We raced this car with this whole setup, but it didn't make quite the power. This car came in here making about a power around 1,000 or a little over 1,000 horsepower approximately, with the slipping belt issues and the lack of fuel that it had on a C16 fuel combo that it ran at the time. Now we actually have this thing. It still has the factory DI, but it's got a port injection with the Holley Dominator setup. So we did a Crawford Racing harness on this car, along with the DI, the port injection side now. And I'll let John here explain a little more. Before we get to that, I'll just show you the increase of power that this thing made with the intercooler off at about 135 intake air temps versus where it went to 45 when we turned the intercooler pump on. So this is the horsepower numbers that we got in with our new setup versus the old setup. So it made 1,028 when it came in. This is about obviously corrected DA with what we were dealing with at the time versus what we're dealing with now. Made 1,278 the other day. And honestly, I think the thing's probably making somewhere between 1,350, 1,360 with the good cold air intake temps and the extra boost it was making, because the dyno just couldn't hold the tire down with the weight that we had in the car. Actually, it was unweighted, and we just didn't have the traction on the dyno for this thing to grip and make the power. It kept blowing the tire off as soon as we turned the intercooler on. So excitingly, this thing is making over 1,300, which is amazing for a street car. This thing is radical. We're actually going to take a street drive here, and it's going to be on our YouTube for you guys to check out. But Brad's going to drive in the passenger seat, and he's going to get a little ride along with this thing, because this thing is radical. But before we get to that, I'll let John explain to you what we did and fill you in. I mean, quite a few things we had to do to this thing. It took some time.
Yeah, so guys, we did a lot of work to it. We'll start off nice and easy. We did a belt wrap redesign. The previous belt wasn't wrapping the pulley enough.
Caused a boost slip.
Creating a belt slip issue. So we actually got 4 pounds of more boost out of the blower by redoing the belt wrap. Then we went to a ignition control harness, added that on personally myself, so now the Dominator controls the ignition side, as well as the drive-by-wire harness, where we took over the throttle control because of the factory ECU torque limiting the car right around like 800 horsepower. It would actually close the throttle body. So there's a second throttle body in the cowl of the engine that the factory computer thinks it's controlling, and that's how we alleviate that process. We added
the Holley Dominator, which is over here in the front fender well.
Dominator, yep. It's in the fender well there. The Crawford harness to adapt it so that all the factory body control functions still work on the car.
So what's really cool is it's got factory gauge, factory RPM, factory speedometer, factory fuel gauge, factory oil pressure, coolant temp, all those components, as well as we have monitoring ability through the Dominator now. So obviously we can fully tune and fully data log or run and have traction control capability now with this car outside of the factory ECU traction control, which honestly was just pretty much unusable with this caliber of car and horsepower.
Yeah.
So,
and this being the street car, it still has sunroof functions, everything as far as body control. It still acts like a factory 2016 Camaro SS, which is really cool.
Yep.
The only thing we needed to upgrade as far as like the stock stuff goes, we had to put a factory ZL1 fuel pump in the tank.
On the low side, right?
Yeah, on the low side, we get to fill the DI side up with better fuel, just converting it over to the ethanol.
Good factory fuel, the DI side.
Yeah, this car runs on full X98 now to create all the power in the DI side and the port side. We had to upgrade the pump on the port side as well to a brushless
rising rate, basically.
Yeah, rising rate fuel pump. So at a certain RPM, certain throttle response, that second pump comes on, and this thing gets it done. It
does. And this car, and this could all be done with a factory 8 or 10 speed. This car is actually facilitated with a turbo 400, just because Rob doesn't fall short of doing anything without it being 100%. So he did convert this. This actually was I think the first Gen 6 Camaro done with a turbo 400 back in the day when we first did this car. Now, the nice thing about this whole setup is that we can duplicate this on any late model
any
C7,
any Gen 5.
Yeah, any Gen 5. So it's really a unique process because you can have your, you know, up to 2019 Z06 if you wanted to, and do the same thing. We actually have a Z06 coming in with an F1X Pro Charger, and we're doing the same combo on that when we drop this one off. That car will be coming in here. So that's gonna be really exciting because that car is a manual car. So this car is seeing numbers are in the 1300 range plus. That car is probably gonna see plus 1500, which is really cool. That's wheel horsepower. And like, you know, my wife has a 7-speed Z06 and it's 700 horsepower. The thing is almost undrivable. When the weather temps out here in the Northeast are under 60 degrees, 50, 60 degrees, it's a little scary of a car. So 1500 is almost like unusable, but that car is actually on a 15-inch car lock conversion, so it does make it a little easier to be able to maneuver that kind of power on the road. But we'll do a little walk around, kind of give you the inside scoop of what this thing is on the inside too. So it's got a factory power shut off here. We'll turn that on. Check out the 686 Holley screen that's in there. It's got a precision shifter in here with an air shifter. It's all tied into the Holley as well. Got the air tank back here. Car's a really clean car. It's got the back seat delete kit, and it's got some aftermarket race seats in it as well. But this car is just a super fun car, and it's got a custom built cage, which is really nice. So the fuel tank in the backside here is a custom tank, obviously that has ice on one side, so we can ice cool the intercooler to get the intake air temps down, and it's got the brushless air motor pump here to run the X98 out of the auxiliary tank for the port injection. Car's really cool. A chute is definitely needed for a car at this level. This could be a little gangster killer if you run the little gangster class. If you choose to go race this car, it'd be really badass. So yeah, so that's next is the test drive. So we'll see you guys soon. This thing's a street car?
It's a street car.
It don't look like a street car.
Scary street car.
We'll find out. Yeah, it is. So this thing's pretty radical, man. I'll be honest with you. I go out there every time and I think I'm gonna put this thing to the wood, and I don't. It's not my car. It's a customer's car. I don't want to crash it. It is super aggressive, and I think it'll hit the chip really hard when the tires light because I've done it before. So I usually go out here and I try to at least go 50% throttle. And what we do I said about 25%, maybe 50% a couple times. We're here taking Brad out, and this thing's fun. But you guys get an idea. So for the little bit of throttle I gave it, you can really get the drift of what kind of power this thing makes on the street. I'm a race car driver. I'm usually pretty fearless. Yes, it's not mine, so I'm a little more concerned with breaking somebody else's pride and joy. But I love to make great content, great video, but not at the sake of having to replace this thing or breaking somebody else's unit. But this thing's intense, so just make no mistake. When you hear me and when you watch this video, it is whoop, whoop. It's not, it's just petting it. We are just petting it. It's track-worthy race car. It is a late model car, and it is a car that has got all the cool functions, but really cool. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the ride, Brad.
I did.
All right, we'll check you guys out on the next one.